Hi, welcome to the lesson on loan repayment. This is what we're doing instead of class on Tuesday. So these two formulas here are both for loan repayment. They also work for annuities, but we're not going to talk so much about those, mainly just loan repayment. So for both of these formulas, PMT represents the payment, which will be monthly, unless you're told otherwise. So unless it specifies that it's something other than monthly, you can just assume it's monthly payment. PV represents the loan amount. I represents the periodic interest, just like it always has. And then N is the number of payments, or the number of compounding periods. All right, so, and these are the same two formulas, just like we've had before, but one of them solved for PV, and the other one solved for the payment. So in the first question, how much can you afford to borrow if you can pay $300 a month for 5 years at 7.9% interest? This is a typical car loan. So in this one, they're asking how much can you afford to borrow, which means they're asking you to solve for PV. So PV equals, and we're just going to plug into the formula, 1 minus 1 plus I is 7.9% interest, and we're assuming it's compounded at the same interval as the payments are being made. So 7.9% monthly. So it's 0.079 over 12 raised to the negative 60th power, and that's 60 because it's 5 months, or 5 years times 12 months. And all of that over I, and then times, and I should have put this in front, but that's okay, your monthly payment. Okay, and so whatever that comes out to be, that's going to be the amount we can afford to borrow. Now, to see how we type this into the calculator, here's what I would do. I would do the top part first. 1 minus 1 plus 0.079 over 12 raised to the negative 60th. I would do that and hit enter, and then divide by parentheses 0.079 over 12, and then multiply that by 300. And when you do that, you get $14,830.51. So 14,830.51. That's our answer. Okay, now let's go over to Excel and do the same thing over there. Only now we're going to use the functions in Excel. So this one, again, they're asking us to find the PV. So we went to our FX button, type a brief description, or you can just go to the common functions, PV. The rate for this one is 7.9%. So 7.9% monthly, because this requires periodic. We have 60 periods, and the monthly payment is $300. So we click OK. We get the same dollar amount we did before. Okay? And that, again, is what we typed in to the function. Okay, so we did get the same thing. So that's that first kind of problem. For the other kind of problem, we're going to go over here and paste the second question. What will be the monthly payment if you borrow $250,000 for 30 years at 5.75% interest? That's a typical home loan. So for this one, they want us to solve for the payment, so we're going to use this second formula. So PMT equals PV, which is your loan amount, so $250,000 times I, which is 0.0575 over 12, over 1 minus 1 plus I to the negative n. And here we've got 30 years times 12 months, so that's 360 months. And we'll close the brackets, and that's the formula set up. Okay? Alright, and now we're going to go to the calculator and plug in. And different people have different preferences here, how they like to do this. I probably would do the bottom part the same as what we did up above, just because it's the longer part. So 1 minus 1 plus 0.0575 over 12 raised to the negative 360. And then I would do parentheses 0.0575 over 12 divided by that answer. So if you do second and then answer, it'll put that on the bottom of the fraction. And then you can take that whole thing and multiply by 250,000. And that'll give it to you. So it's not the only way to do it, but it's one way that'll work. And you get $1458.93. So that would be your monthly payment. So let's go over here and see if we get the same thing down here, as we should. So we're going to go to Insert Function, and we're going to search for PMT. And we find our function PMT, and let's see, the rate is 5.75%. So 0.0575 or 5.75% divided by 12 compoundings per year, 12 payments per year. Number of periods is 360. And we're borrowing $250,000. And we get $1458.93, which is exactly what we were hoping to find. Okay, and I'll show you again what goes in the function so that you can take another look. There's one more thing I wanted to do with this problem, and that is to calculate the interest paid over the life of the loan, because the amount of interest can really add up quickly. So to calculate the amount of interest paid, we need to take $250,000, which is the amount we borrowed, subtract out the amount we paid. Well, the amount you pay over a 30-year loan is $1458.93 times 360 payments. And that's going to end up being a negative number, because I actually meant to put this the other way, but that's okay. So if we do $1458.93, multiply that by 360 payments. That means over a 30-year period, we've paid in $525,000 and then some. So then if you subtract out the amount that was principal, what that means is that for a house that cost $250,000, you've paid $275,000 in interest. And that's really typical. And it's worse with higher interest rates. But so that's it for this video. There'll be one more on amortization, and that'll be coming shortly.